Welcome everybody back to the Hylian Hub. This is episode 2. Um, this is a Nintendo podcast where we talk about Nintendo news. Then we go on to a main topic, and then I'll end it off with a Q&A segment where you guys can ask me a question, and I will answer it. I post every Sunday on my community tab, or posts it is now called, and I will answer a question. If you comment your question, I will most likely answer it on the podcast. So we are on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. So go check us out on all platforms. And let's get started. So let's head into the Nintendo news of this week. So the first piece of news is Pokemon Legends ZA Ranked Battle Season 5 is coming out soon. It's sometime through January 8th through the 29th. I don't play Pokemon, so I don't know much about that. If you guys are into that stuff, you guys may like that. So next we have Tetris has a special Animal Crossing theme for Animal Crossing 3.0 update, which should be pretty cool. Actually, next episode, this upcoming week, will be the week that it releases the Animal Crossing 3.0 update. So that'll be cool, and I will be having episode 3. We'll just be all talking about Animal Crossing's 3.0 update. This year's also, I forgot to mention this in the last, whatever it's called, the last episode, the first one. It's also Zelda's 40th anniversary, I believe. I'm pretty sure it is, yeah. So that's pretty cool. I wonder what games they're probably gonna have hopefully a new Zelda, like another new Zelda game, like Tears of the Kingdom or Breath of the Wild, something cool like that, or maybe a completely different new game. That'd be a lot really cool fun. that'd be really cool. Our next piece of news is Nintendo is not going to be. They're not going to have the Hulu app on their consoles anymore, because you can get like apps like YouTube. I'm pretty sure there's a Twitch one. So and then there's Hulu. Hulu is not going to be supported on the Nintendo Switch anymore. We have a couple of Mario Tennis Fever pieces like news, which is Mario Tennis Fever has now 38 playable characters. So when it comes out, you guys can play as 38 different characters. If I'm wrong about any of this stuff, don't blame it on me. It's all from articles that I find online. The articles will be somewhere, I think right here maybe, or over here somewhere on the screen. I'll have a picture of the article. So they have 38 playable characters that you can be. And that's the most that they've ever had in Nintendo Sports for Mario Sports and stuff like that. Next one is another Mario Tennis one, which is Mario Tennis Fever trailer just came out. You guys can go check that out. If you probably could just search it up, Mario Tennis Fever, and then it'll pop up on like YouTube or something. I'm not gonna put that on I'm not gonna play that or list for copyright reasons and stuff like that. So our last Mario Tennis news is you can actually use amiibos now you can use amiibos on Mario Tennis Fever, and when you use them, it'll actually give you a custom ball for that character. So on the article here, it's like Peach, and she has a ball. She has her own Peach ball, which is pretty cool. If you use the Peach amiibo, I'm assuming that's what you get. And our last one is that Nintendo just dropped different colored Joy-Cons. They have a teal one and a purple one, and those will be coming out on February 12th. Those are gonna be pretty cool, I hope. Except they're probably gonna be like $100. Those will be pretty cool. That is it for Nintendo news of this week, and let's go ahead into our main topic of today, which is Tears of the Kingdom versus Breath of the Wild. Which one I like better and why? All right, so you have made it to the main topic of today's video, or not to today's podcast, which is Tears of the Kingdom versus Breath of the Wild. Which one I like better and why? So if you guys can comment which one you like the best, or which one you like more. If you haven't played both of them, no worries. But let's just go through them. I have 10 reasons why I have 10 things like what I like about each one, and I'll tell you which one I like better. So let's start off with Tears of the Kingdom. Let's see here. First one is the first out of the 10 reasons are I like the abilities better. You have Ultra Hand, which you can pick up anything. Instead of like Magnesis, you can just pick up metal stuff. Now, Ultra Hand, you can pick up everything, and you can attach stuff, which is pretty cool. And you have, let's see, what other ones do you have? You have Fuse ability, which makes your weapons a lot stronger, which is really cool. I'm actually really excited about that. I actually thought that was really cool when I got it. I was like, oh, this is super cool. I was really excited about it then. Now, I almost beat the game now. I 100%ed it. Just have all the Koroks, those dumb Koroks. Breath of the Wild actually had less Koroks. This is not part of it. This is a cool fact or whatever. I'm pretty sure it had like 900. You can correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not sure. But Tears of the Kingdom, I'm pretty sure has 1,000 Koroks. A lot harder stuff, dude. It's got all like the depth stuff. So the next thing. Oh yeah, what other? So there's the recall. That one I'd say is kind of like stasis, where you can freeze stuff. Stasis is pretty cool. I use that a lot in Breath of the Wild, but I'm not a fan. It's not like my favorite recall, but like if you accidentally drop something like off of a cliff, let's say, then you can just recall it back up to you. If you need it, you can just recall it back up to you. What's the other ability you got? There's Ascend. Ascend is really helpful. That one I like a lot because you don't have to, it's like you're getting rid of climbing. You don't have to climb a bunch. His climbing took forever in Breath of the Wild. But you did have Rivali's Gale, which was really cool. You could just like shoot yourself up. But I'm pretty sure I will talk about that in the Breath of the Wild part. I feel like I'm missing one more. No, there's only those 4 abilities, yeah. Oh, and then there's what's it called? The purple hands. Auto build. I worded that really weird. Auto build. That one is really cool because once you build something, it saves it in your history. So like, if you just attach a bunch of apples together, and I can tell it says you can't attach anymore. Then if you go to an apple, like an apple forest or whatever that has a bunch of apple trees, just to get that out and then just lift it up, and when you're walking around in the trees, you can it'll just pick up the apples for you. I have like 999 apples now. It's pretty cool. So that is it for the abilities. If we head on to the second one, I like how the second one is that there's 3 ground levels. So like you have the Sky Island, you have the main area, and you have the depths, which is pretty cool. I'm pretty sure I said this in my last video, but it's a fun fact. You got, if everywhere in the main floor, every time there's a shrine, right underneath it will be a light route, which is pretty cool. So I just like those because it gives you more like exploration. You can just explore a lot more area of the map. But I don't like how the map is like almost the exact same. It's pretty much the same as Breath of the Wild, and they just added like memories. And speaking of memories, I like actually the story a lot better. Well, maybe not a lot, but the story is just so good. Like everything ties together perfectly. It's amazing. I think Breath of the Wild did too, but it's just a lot more interesting. So that one's pretty cool. The Skyview Towers. I like the towers a lot better because in Breath of the Wild you have to like climb up the towers, and it's kind of lame. You just don't do anything really. There's like a challenge or whatever outside, like your enemies around the tower in Breath of the Wild. But in Tears of the Kingdom, there's like a challenge that you have to do to be able to get into the tower, and it's pretty complicated, like hard stuff. Well, some of them are, and then that you just like, when you get those, you get the tower. And you don't have to climb up the tower. You just walk right in, and it shoots you up like really high. You go a lot higher than Breath of the Wild, which is really cool. Next one is that you can throw items. I love being able to throw items. It's so cool. And if you like, every item, like the rocks, they all have abilities like topaz, electric, opals, water, sapphires, ice, rubies, fire. Our next piece of news we got is, oh yeah, this is a good one. I love not having to use amiibos to be able to get the special outfits. Like I can get the Fierce Deity set without getting the amiibo, whatever it's for. Is it? I don't know what it's for, but you have to use the. I don't know what amiibo the Fierce Deity one is, but that's just the first one that came to my mind. Like the Link's Awakening outfit, you just get those in chests in the depths, which is pretty cool. And you're supposed to get like the old maps, and it'll show you where they are. But if you don't know, they just show you all the mine locations. Because every time there's a mine, there's either outfit or there's like 20 crystal, like 20 like a crystallized charge, which is pretty cool. I love the outfits because now I actually have them all in Breath of the Wild. I don't have like all the Zelda amiibos, so I can't get all the outfits. Like I only have the 2 of the champion amiibos. I have the Daruk one and the Rivali one. So I have the Rudania helm and I have the Von Metal helm. And I have all of them in Tears of the Kingdom too, but I never use them that much. Oh, I love Guardians. I didn't put this on my list, but in Breath of the Wild, I love the Guardian list. So moving back, I like not the Guardian list, the Guardian outfits, which is pretty cool. And Guardians are just fun in general. But back to Tears of the Kingdom is the Zonai devices. I think the Zonai devices are really I think they're a good add to the game. Like I like using the rockets. If you just rocket shield, I use that a lot. Or time bomb and attach that. You can just like shield surfer and launch you pretty high up in the air. Rocket does a lot more height though. But they're pretty cool, useful, and it makes sense that you can't use them in the shrines. But that'd be pretty cool if you could. Just cheating the shrine, not even following the rules. But you can detach stuff before you go into the shrine. And then you can, like, to your shield or something, like, you could attach, like, a rocket shield or time bomb, and then you can just use them inside the shrine. It lets you use them still, which is pretty funny. So, the next one is the clothing. I like how the clothing has a lot more detail, I feel like it has. Like, just take a comparison of the Champion's tunics. Like, here's picture, I'll put a picture up on the screen of the Tears of the Kingdom Champion's tunic. Well, it's called the Champion's Leathers, actually, but it's pretty cool. I love that one. And here's the Breath of the Wild one. I'll put that up on the screen, too. And if you can just see that they have a lot more detail, Tears of the Kingdom one looks a lot cooler and, like, cooler. But most of the clothing is actually kind of the same. So mostly where I was going with that was just on the Champion's tunic, which is pretty cool. The 9th thing about Tears of the Kingdom that I like better is music. I think the music is a lot cooler. You have a bunch more music as well, because you have different like ones for the gloom monsters in the depths and the ones like in the Sky Island. They're all different like sounds, stuff like that. Speaking of monsters, our last one is actually they have a lot more boss monsters in the game than just like in Breath of the Wild. They have the Hinox, the Stone Talus, and then like the Molduga. And they got rid of the King Molduga in Tears of the Kingdom. I'm pretty sure they got rid of it. At least I've never seen it. I feel like there's hardly any Moldugas in Tears of the Kingdom. It might still be in there. I'm pretty sure it's not though. But there's like 3 Moldugas in the entire game in Tears of the Kingdom. Well, Breath of the Wild there's like 6 or 7 maybe. I don't know. And they also added boss bokoblins in Tears of the Kingdom, which is pretty cool. Those are just big bokoblins, so they're like mini Hinoxes, you could say, and they have like actually silver ones. So with the Hinox, there's no silver Hinoxes, but and there's also Stalnoxes in Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. So that's all for Tears of the Kingdom that I got. And let's move on to Breath of the Wild. All right. So divine beasts. That's the first thing I like better about Breath of the Wild. You have the divine beast, and it's not like it's the divine beast instead of the temples. That's what it's called. Couldn't think of what they were called. They're like the fire temple. Then there's like the lightning temple, or the water temple, or the wind temple, and then there's spirit temple, I think it's called. Yeah, those aren't my favorite. It's just they have some challenge. They have a bunch of challenges to it, and it's just like a big area. But I love the divine beast more because you have to move the stuff around in it. Ruda, Varuda, that is the one over by the Zora. The elephant, that one is probably my favorite for moving stuff around because you have to use like the trunk to shoot water into the divine beast, which is pretty cool. Kind of, I'm like blanking a little bit about Breath of the Wild because I've been playing Tears of the Kingdom a lot, so it's all coming back to me now. The divine beasts are really cool, and you have in the Vondaboris, you have to shoot like bomb arrows at the feet to try and like get it down so you can get inside of it because they all like turn bad, and you have to beat the Ganon inside of it. And the one in Vondaboris is probably the hardest one in the game, I'd say, because Thunderbite is insanely fast, but once you get used to it, you kind of get it real quick. I've spent hours in that on master mode. But then I just left, and I got all the other ones. Like I had Ruda. I only had Varuda, which is the elephant, which is Mipha's, and it just gives you an extra guy, you could say, like a 1-up. So if you die, you get brought back to life, and it gives you a couple extra hearts. I think it's maybe 5 extra hearts. But then I just went and got Daruk's protection after I beat Varudanya, and I got the Master Sword. Here's the thing. I used the glitch, like where you put the campfire and look up and just spam A, but I didn't have a spot on my inventory, so I could go to one side of the Master Sword and it said like pull, and then I could go to the other side of the Master Sword and it'd say like place, and I didn't have the Master Sword in my inventory, so it kind of broke the game there, and I had to get the hearts because I couldn't do it again, which is it's dumb. That's our first one. Our second one about Breath of the Wild is you can actually explore Hyrule Castle. Like in Tears of the Kingdom, in the beginning of the game, the Hyrule Castle gets like split into 2 because you're like in the depths, and then Ganon like splits into 2. So you can like hardly explore it anymore. Like Breath of the Wild, it's all put together and it's awesome. It's fun to explore. That's where I got all my like strong weapons and stuff. It was so fun. I love the banquet too. It's just food, like free food. I love Hyrule Castle. The next one is there aren't any decayed weapons. In Tears of the Kingdom, there's a bunch of decayed weapons and stuff. And to get the regular weapons, you have to go in the depths and search at these little statues holding weapons, and they're the not decayed ones. That's dumb. You have to all the decayed ones are everywhere else. You have to search the depths and try and find it. Like it gives like a lot better attack when attack up or stuff like that. Like let's say a soldier's broadsword. I'm pretty sure it's a 24 prestige, which is the non-decayed one. A prestige soldier's broadsword, I'm pretty sure is 24. No, that's the knight's broadsword. The knight's broadsword is 24, a prestige one. The soldier's broadsword is 8 decayed, and as a prestige, it is, I believe, 12. So it gives you a lot more for bigger weapons, which is awesome. I like that a lot. But I don't like. I like the regular ones a lot better. So that's why I like Breath of the Wild, because everything's regular, and you can just get a Royal Guard sword, which is 48 or something. I have a 72 one. That's the strongest I've gotten as a Royal Guard sword. Royal Guard's broadsword. And I've gotten a 112 Royal Guards Royal Guards claimer, 112. It's a big one. I also like the house in Tears of the Kingdom a lot better because you can build it yourself. I meant to put that. I should have put that in the Tears of the Kingdom one. but you can actually build your house all by yourself with Ultra Hand in Tears of the Kingdom. I was in Breath of the Wild. You just already have a set house that you have to live in. Fourth thing is you don't have to pay rupees. In Tears of the Kingdom, you have to pay rupees to enhance your clothing with the Great Fairy Fountain. So in Tears of the Kingdom, I'm pretty sure it's like 200 for the last upgrade or something like that. Maybe 200 or it's like 5. I'm pretty sure it's 200 for the last upgrade. Or 500, something like that. But in Breath of the Wild, you just need the items to enhance it. But in Tears of the Kingdom, you have to like pay an additional rupees, which is dumb. So it makes it harder for me to get like the full 100% completion in the game. So I have to go and get a bunch of rupees. The next thing we have though is DLC. The Breath of the Wild DLC is awesome. I love it. It has the EX chests. It gives you Master Mode. Trial of the Sword, which is where you can upgrade your Master Sword. The one-hit obliterator, which unlocks so you can get like the pluses on the Divine Beast, so you refight the bosses. And once you get all those, it unlocks it unlocks. There's like an extra Divine Beast that you have to go to in the Shrine of Resurrection, and you fight Monk Maz Koshia, which is the guy at each shrine. At the end of it, there's like a monk there, one of the Sheikah members or like that, and his name is Monk Maz Koshia, and you fight one of them to get the Master Cycle, and to be able to get the pluses on the shrines, like there's a little area that has like 3 or I'm pretty sure it's 3 or 4. It shows like locations on the shrine. It's like a little pedestal or whatever you want to call it. I don't know what it's called. I'll put a picture of it on screen for video listeners, and if you're listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, then you will be able to listen to my poorly description of it. It gives you like extra shrines that you can get. So it gives you a spirit orb at the end of them, and they're like really hard shrines. I'm pretty sure they're called like champion shrines, and you can tell which one's on the map because they're like super tall instead of the other ones. Like the regular shrines aren't that tall, but on the map you can see it has like an extra little like bump or whatever on top of the shrine. Alright, our next one is Kilton Shop, which is where you get the monster coins in Breath of the Wild. You give like monster parts to Kilton, and he will give you like monster points or something like that. And then you buy stuff from him from a shop. Like you can buy a bounty stick or a wooden mop, or these are all the bad stuff. But it gets a lot better. You can buy like the masks. So like there's a Lionel mask, so you can like walk past the Lionel and he won't think it's you. He'll just think you're another Lionel, so he won't attack you until you start attacking him, which is pretty cool. And they have one for Bokoblins, Lizalfos, and Moblins as well, which is pretty cool. And it gives you the Dark Link outfit, which I like a lot. And it gives you like, if you have like the complete set, it'll give you Knight speed up. Which is pretty cool. The 7th? I'm pretty sure, yeah. 7th one is Cass. I love Cass. Cass was amazing in Breath of the Wild. And they got rid of him in Tears of the Kingdom. He'd tell you like a riddle in like a song or something, and then when you do it, it'll unlock like a shrine, which is pretty cool. And he's at the Champions Ballad, which is part of the DLC. I love Cass. He's awesome. The next one is the champion abilities. I talked about this a little bit and I was talking about Tears of the Kingdom, but the champion abilities are like Varuda, which gives you the extra life. Varudanya, which is Durok's protection, so he gives you like a shield. And then Vamedo, which is Rivali, and it gives you Rivali's Gale, which is like a big boost, like up into the air. If you hold X, it'll like shoot you up into the air. And then the last one is Vodaboris, which is Urbosas, and it gives you I forget what it's called, like Urbosa's Fury. So you just like hold Y and one, like, you know how you do like the spin move when you hold Y. You wait for like the second ding, because it'll go like ding, 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 and then once the second one hits, it'll like use Urbosa's Fury. So like if you let go, it'll like do a lightning strike around wherever it's like everywhere. It'll just like strike lightning. So if you're fighting a bunch of enemies and you use like the Majora's Mask or something from DLC, like every enemy thinks that you're one of them, and then they'll start like following you around, like the Bokoblins and like the Zelfos. And then if you can just hold your weapon and start doing the ding, ding, and then let go, and it'll kill. It'll like shock everyone, which is pretty cool. It'll just hit them all, like hit all the enemies and stuff like that. The next one, the ninth one, is when you defeat like silver enemies, like the silver Bokoblin, the silver Lizalfos, or silver Moblin. It drops like rocks. So in Breath of the Wild, I have like hundreds of rocks, and in Tears of the Kingdom, I have like 20 of each one or something like that. So not that many. So it's just, I love having a bunch of rocks, because then it's an easy way to get rupees, and Tears of the Kingdom made it a lot harder to get rupees. And when you don't have to pay rupees to enhance your stuff, you don't need rupees that much really to buy anything really. In Tears of the Kingdom, they made it a lot harder to get rupees, and you need them a lot more. In Breath of the Wild, it's the other way around, which is kind of funny. And they don't have like abilities like Sapphire's Frost, or Topaz Electric, Ruby's Fire, like that. That's how it is in Tears of the Kingdom. In Breath of the Wild, they don't have that. So if you like hit it, nothing happens. And the last thing that we have that I like better is the Ganon fight. Spoilers incoming. Skip to 28 minutes, 20 seconds to avoid. I like them both. They're both fun. But I don't like in Tears of the Kingdom, I don't like how they have Ganon's like monster forces. So you have to attack like a bunch of Bokoblins and like Lizalfos and stuff before you can even get to Ganon. And then Ganon has 4 phases. You have to beat him regular, then he uses like a stone, and his health goes off the screen. And then once you get him halfway, he goes even harder on you. And then once you beat him, then you have to go fight this Dragon Ganon. Dragon Ganon. I think I said it right the first time. And once you beat that, you finally beat the game. And then Zelda will like come out from her dragon form and turn back into her regular form, her Persian form, and then you save Zelda. That is all for the main topic of today's episode, and we have one question actually from the JD Sports Show, maybe a podcast or something like that, small one. I'm pretty sure it wasn't too big. So let's head into the Q&A segments. So our question is from the JD Sports Show, which is he asks, what game are you most excited for to release this year? So I'm excited. So what games am I excited to be released this year? I am excited for excited for Mario Tennis Fever. That one's probably second. And then Yoshi and the Mysterious Book is probably, I'd say that one I'm most excited for. Then Mario Tennis. Then I'm hoping that Nintendo releases some banger Zelda game for its 40th anniversary this year. So that one will probably be like my third one, but that'd be pretty cool if they make like a good one instead of like the Hyrule Warriors games, because those ones aren't my favorite, but I still do like them. I don't have Age of Imprisonment yet, but I will probably get it soon. I have Hyrule Warriors, Age of Calamity though. But alright, that is it for the Hylian Hub. Thank you guys so much for listening, and I'll see you in the next episode on it'll be the 17th of January, where we talk about Animal Crossing's 3.0 update. The update is on the 15th. See you guys then.